Do you believe the markets are rigged? Do you find yourself buying the market only to see it turn around and crash? Do you get bearish the market like 2 weeks ago and then only to see the market run and run and run and everyone is bullish? Let me introduce myself. I am Don Marshall, otherwise known as Bag of Don at StockMarketCaddy.com. Do I believe the markets are rigged? Absolutely. Folks, they have been rigged not just for the last year, the last 10, the last 20. They have been rigged for 50 years, 100 years. They've always been rigged. You see, there's a club of cronies, the banksters, all of that. And as George Carlin would say, we're not in that club. At least I'm not in it. If you're in it, good for you. Enjoy the ride. Some 20 years ago, my wife Susan and I said we need to get out in front of this. We need to take control over our future and learn to trade the markets. You see, folks, I am not trying to be right. No, not at all. I am not, nor my wife Susan, the smartest people in this market or these markets. To the contrary, speaking for myself, I am the most ignorant person there is in the market. Everyone else knows everything there is to know about these markets. They know how high they're going to go. They know how low they're going to go. They know for how long. And on top of that, they know why. I do not. You see, for 20 years, I taught surgeons how to do surgery. My wife Susan worked for the likes of IBM and Lotus Software. But we took what we learned, those street smarts, and for the last 20 years have traded in the markets. You see, we're not trying to be right. We're not trying to get it all. We're trying to trade as a business to create cash flow. This particular product of ours that you're looking at, we call the Nicholas timing model. And if you stay with me, I'm going to explain to you how it works and why it works. The Nicholas timing model, on the 14th, that was just about 2 weeks ago, back here on the 14th, the VIX went short. Now, 2 weeks ago, think back how bearish, how fearful everybody was. Yet, the VIX daily component signal, this algorithm, signaled to us, signaled to our monthly members at night, they watch a video, and our annual members who have this on their tool, and it went short, and that was a warning shot that maybe the short signal on Nicholas that had been in place and was up tens of thousands of dollars was about to change. And within just a couple of days, within a weekend, because it was on the 17th, the 14th here was a Friday, the 17th, the market was closed for 2 days, so that in virtually the very next market day, the 17th, the Dow futures, the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the ES all go long. And yes, if you had traded the futures market, one mini contract, you would be up $44,775 real time. If you're not familiar with these funny looking symbols, let me just briefly explain. They are futures contracts. They are a bet, a leverage bet on where the Dow is going, the Russell, the NASDAQ, or the S&P for the next few minutes, the next few hours, the next few days, the next few weeks, or months. And it is where the banks play, the club, and they trade hundreds, thousands of these leverage contracts. So whether you trade them or you don't, we like to know where the banksters are. Because when BlackRock came out just the other day and said that the Fed is going to be dovish next week, BlackRock went long the market a couple of weeks ago. So you see, we do not get caught up in the narrative of the day. There'll always be a narrative, and there'll be competing narratives. It's not how we make our decisions. What you want to know is, what is this Nicholas Algo? How does it work? Well, I'm going to explain. Because there really isn't anything else that matters. And let me draw this out. On another screen, we have an algo that is compressing the data of the underlying markets. Each one of these. I'll broaden this out. Plus the data of the VIX, or volatility. You see, volatility is very important to the cronies, to the politicians, and to the banksters. They're very concerned with volatility. They like to tamp it down. And this algo compresses the data of the yield on the 10-year Treasury. Treasury note. You see, there really isn't anything else. It's how they control and manipulate the markets. Our algo tracks the market, the data of the market. It tracks the data of the VIX, and it tracks the data of the yield on the 10-year Treasury. And from there, it makes a decision to buy or sell. Our monthly members get to see this signal every night on a video. Our annual members get a chance to have this on their desktop in the privacy of their home. Now, they may or may not trade futures. They may not take every single signal. They may use options. They just may use it to cut through all the chaff, all the fake news. The question is, what are you going to do? How are you going to make your decision? Because ultimately, the VIX will go long, and the markets will go short. And weeks later, we will be up tens of thousands of dollars. What will you be doing? What will you be watching? What will you be listening to? I will be in my office the rest of the morning, and then, like everyone else, I'm going to be working around my yard, cleaning the pool, raking leaves. You're welcome to give me a call if you've listened this far. Susan and I are real people trading our own money. We're not brokers. We're not financial advisors. We're not making specific recommendations to buy or sell any security, and we're not making any claims. So please do not ask me for my performance, or even we can show you historically the performance of this specific algo. But you see, we have dozens of algos. We start with the premise that we started with in this video, that we are the most ignorant folks in the market, and that if we can develop algos to track money flow on the interval of our choosing, we can do what? We can trade as a business, and we can create cash flow, and we can have a wonderful life, an independent life. I don't need a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. I don't need to listen to CNBC. You can reach me at 813-758-8255. 8263. You can push the like button. You can subscribe on YouTube for free and follow, or you can give us a call and find out how these tools can be accessible to you either through a video on our monthly membership or on your own desktop in the privacy of your own office, home, or business, or on a cell phone, so that the next time the markets make a turn, you'll know. Good luck.